everyone, again we are here, and hopefully I've just spoken to Rosemary, so we actually saw each other as we should, so hopefully we can make this work, and it will work. Right, she's active, she's there, she's all looking wonderful. I've just seen her, and she's in a lovely flowery top and ready and waiting for us. Hi Yucca, lovely to see you. Right, requested to be in my video. Let's fingers crossed everyone, because we want to see her. I just said they want to see you, they don't want to see me, Rosemary. So I'm really hoping we're going to get Rosemary live and physically seen. She's just waiting to connect. Hi Victoria, thank you very much for your recipes, and I hope you're all well down in, you don't live in Wincanton, I can never think of the name, but I know it begins with W. And Social by Max, we're looking forward to seeing you next week. That's going to be exciting. Right, where's she gone? Come on, come, please. And now it's just turned the other way.
That's it. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but we still can't see you. This is such a shame.
Well,
Okay,
I don't.
we'll try another mobile.
We're going to try one more mobile, okay?
Okay, have you got an Apple?
Yes.
Yeah, and...
Okay, let's try the mobile. We're going to try one. Bear with us, everybody, for 1 minute. Try one more mobile, okay? Try with us, okay?
Have you got an Apple?
Yes.
Yes. What about your lap?
Yeah. We can hear it all ricocheting round. I don't know how many mobiles Rosemary's got on the go, but she's got a few mobiles going down there. You can see this is very live, but this is lockdown, and this is how these things work. We all learn as we go along. I don't know what her problem is, but there's something odd. But fingers crossed from all of us, because we really want to meet the lady who put Ladette to Lady on television. She's the chef and cook for decades in the kitchen, teaching many of us how to cook. She's what I call the fairy godmother of cooking, teaching those who maybe aren't so keen, but she can bring the magic to how to cook, and she can share her knowledge of how to cook a good item. And she's a very, very funny lady as well, I have to say. I find her very endearing, enthusiastic, and very, very funny. She's asking me to go live with her. That's what I think is slightly the problem. But let's see. Hello, Rosemary.
We're on. I can't believe it. Okay, hi.
We made it work.
We've made it. Fantastic.
Delicious.
Yeah, brilliant.
Lovely.
Brilliant.
Lovely to see you. Can I just introduce you again?
Yeah,
this is the wonderful, wonderful Rosemary Shrager. I tell you, everyone, she's funny, she's bubbly. She's the fairy godmother of teaching everyone who doesn't want to cook how to cook. She's written numerous books, and I think she's the Maggie Smith of chefs, the Downton Abbey goddess.
Woo! That's such an introduction.
Well, you're such a person.
It's like the Madonna of cooking.
But you make us smile. You make everyone feel so happy in their kitchens.
Oh, sweetheart, smiling doesn't cost anything, does it?
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. It's a very simple.
Don't you find if you smile as you go down the road, if you smile at people, they smile back. It's really nice.
No.
So you know, it's as they say, if you actually smile with everybody, they'll smile with you. That's what they say, isn't it?
We're having love flowing for you, Rosemary. So that's brilliant. Now tell us, can we go back into how you got into cooking? Because you're self-taught, aren't you? You set up a cookery school, a cookery business, catering business.
Absolutely. Well, what happened was, about 45 years ago, I was working in the city for architects, and I decided that I would leave that because I was an interior designer, and I would leave that and I would go into cooking, having never had a lesson in my life, may I tell you. So I learned everything from books. I mean, everything. So basically, and funny enough, today we were just talking about it. So I had somebody over who worked for Price Waterhouse. That was my very first job as a director, as a director's cook, not a chef, a cook,
Yeah.
because I literally was a nobody. So, but then having realized doing catering for directors' lunches, I didn't really know that much. But of course, I did it as a hobby. So I would cook. My husband would get very angry because I would get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and turn something off. I was the first Julia on Julia Child. And even, there I was learning for mastering the art of French cookery. And funnily enough, many years later, as I got into cookery and started to learn and learned in kitchens, when I saw Pierre Kaufman, I said to him in my interview, one of my things was, he said, I said, I have to tell you, most of my knowledge is from books, but also I used to take myself off expertise like a butcher, a fishmonger, or a bread, baker, or I used to go to places where I would learn specifically how to do things. So I basically had my own apprenticeship. I did it myself. But so anyway, and he said to me, that is the best way to do it. And then he took me into the kitchen. I had to work free of charge for a week before he'd take me on.
So your first proper stage was with Pierre Kaufman?
No. I worked before that. But that's what I told. The reason I told his name, because it's the sort of person who reacted to having learned from books.
Yeah.
No. I'd worked for many people like Jean-Christophe Novelli and people like that before him. So basically, it was just the first person gone into a 3-star Michelin restaurant. I mean, just really loved it. Although I'd been in kitchens, of course I had, Fran. I'd been in kitchens. I'd done all that. But it was, I had never had a formal training in a college.
Well, it's very interesting. About 7 of the chefs I've interviewed in the last few weeks have not had formal training. They've gone to university, they've read something else, and their passion has been food. And then they've had a lucky break, is the best way of putting it.
Well, funnily enough, mine wasn't actually a lucky break, which is curious. I was cooking for an awful long time, and I opened this restaurant in Cornwall, and of course, and before I knew it, we lost everything and so on. I was sort of ready to do that, literally overnight. So it wasn't until actually I lost every single thing I probably had, my home, my car, my dog, my cat, my husband, everything at the same time. But actually, that was the beginning of a new career. So it was really interesting because that's what I did. I worked as a chef then. But, so then that's all I had was my skill. So what I had to do was put a roof over my head, was to just get on and work. And that's it. And look forward and don't look back.
And sometimes a bad thing happening to someone, or a failure, or whatever you want to call it, is the making of someone, because it makes them actually get their direction and just go for it.
Well, I'll tell you a little funny thing.
Go
I
on.
haven't said this to anybody before, but I didn't care. My children were all at sort of university, or they were at school, boarding school, and one was someone. Anyway, I have to say, and I went into Social Security because the bank pulled us in, and I said I need some money for my dog and cat because I can't afford to buy any food. They laughed me out. And of course, the way I spoke, I wasn't allowed any money for my dog and cat. I thought it was incredibly mean.
That's not so nice, is it? And then how did you transfer? So you worked at this castle up in Scotland.
That was many years later. I worked at Alvensbury Castle, and we were talking about that today too, which was sensational. That was the place which was curious. Every single place I worked, I learned so much. And that was the place where I learned how to do butchery. We used to slaughter our own, obviously our own deer. We had our, venison, that is. We had our own stuff. We had our own lamb. So we had our own, whole thing, slaughterhouse. So we'd have warm liver straight, which maybe nobody would love, but it's the most amazing getting some warm liver. And
fresh liver is amazing.
Just frying it up. And then we had, so of course, venison, lamb and everything. And also the other thing I experienced, which I had never experienced before up there, was actually the fish. So I had masses of things like sea urchins, dog whelks, things like squat lobsters, squatties, which don't last that long, you know, and lobsters and crayfish, and you know what I mean, langoustine and all the things, but were unbelievable. And I had my own divers who dived, two divers who went out diving. So I kept my own krills. I had 2 krills, which are full of stuff. It was unbelievable. So I used to say to them, look, just bring me everything from the seabed you can find. So these huge trays used to arrive with razor fish. I mean, literally dog whelks, as I said, which you've never seen so big, which are the big ones. I mean, everything. And of course, what is interesting, I learned all about, which I didn't know as much, sea urchins and things like that. The color is different wherever you are in the different part of the world, so they come out a different color. And you know, whereas the little ones in the south of France and all around there, the ones are much paler up north. So it was just fantastic. And turbot and things like turbot and John Dory, not John Dory, that was in Cornwall, I'll tell you about that in a minute, and John Dory and halibut. They used to phone me from the ship and say, would you like this? And I said, of course I would. So they bring
what a privilege.
So it's a massive privilege. And of course, when you were in Cornwall, we had things like the asparagus. We had things like the all those sort of things.
The potatoes,
like, John Dory and mullet, which you could get down there, which you can't get up there. So everything you go. And then when you're working in Yorkshire, I was at Swinton, you had the wonderful forced rhubarb. So what you do is you choose wherever you are in the world, you choose and you find out and what it's all about. And that's what is so exciting about it. And now I'm in East Sussex. It's all about fruit. Everything's about fruit. So of course, it's wonderful. Raspberries, strawberries, you know, apples, pears, it's plums,
cherries.
It's everything is here. So that's, to me, I'll never forget when I was a child and I was at boarding school and we had cherry orchards and it was absolutely amazing. And they used to send crates to my school. I was so happy of cherries because I remember the cherry ladders used to go up the trees, very thin ones. And it was magnificent, absolutely wonderful. They used to sway too. It was amazing. Anyway, cherries and things. So every county, and because having worked all over Britain, every county has something that is so special.
And there's nothing more exciting than cooking with fresh seasonal produce. And having things put in front of you that you actually may not have touched anymore, but you use your instinct and your knowledge and your balance and you cook it.
That's it, because what I do feel, and I feel very strongly about this, supermarkets really confuse us if they actually sell strawberries at Christmas. I mean, you know, why? So I feel really strongly about all this stuff that they sell all over the world. Look, mangoes are in. Mangoes have been in for a month. Good mangoes, you know.
Yeah, tasty.
So bring them in when they're in, maybe over there. But don't bring them in again. Do you know what I mean?
Well, because then you get something that doesn't taste good and you're just eating a strawberry, but it's not a Kent strawberry that's blossoming with flavour and it hasn't travelled miles, and so it's just really fresh and deep.
There's nothing like a British strawberry, honestly.
Oh, I agree with you.
I mean, nothing like. And
a Scottish raspberry.
Oh, the best. Well, I was saying again today, actually, what was so lovely was when I was in Scotland, I got a farmer to put up these sort of tunnels where he put raspberries. I had raspberries coming to me from May until November, all the year across. It was fabulous. I mean, it was just, so to be able to do that, because it was big in Scotland, all those raspberries, we had raspberries with everything, but it was so unique and so lovely, and they were just so special. I mean, autumn raspberries are sometimes the best you can get, and loganberries, wonderful.
And tell me, at the castle, you were cooking because it was a hotel, or?
Yes, what it was, although it was a lodge, it was a hotel as well. It had 15 bedrooms. Beautiful ensuite, you know, all very lovely, and they did shooting. It was all shooting parties and things like that. But what they did was they wanted to bring in, rather then it was all done as a sort of just a lodge for shooting. Stopped all that. So we had artists, we had music. So basically, people used to just come in, and it was fabulous, absolutely fabulous. So
Is it
that's
that
why I did
beautiful
that.
lock? Is it that beautiful castle that's on a lock that sort of
That's right.
sits?
No,
Yeah, it's
no,
the most stunning
it's
sensation.
stunning. It's not a lock. What it is, it's a sea. It's where it comes in. It's the sea as it comes in and it goes out. But it's not a lock because it's not enclosed.
Okay, but they used it for the James Bond film, didn't they?
I think they used this for all sorts of things. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
but
It's
but my friend Miriam was up there the other day. They did the midwife, and they stayed at Armensbury Castle, and they did call the midwife, and they did Rodal Church. So Rodal Church became the hospital, which was far down near Flodder in South Harris. And she phoned me up and I said, you've got to go and see Effie. So she popped in to see Effie, my friend, and who's adorable, absolutely adorable. Makes the best clootie dumpling, the best scones, the best shortbread, everything in the world. In the world.
oh, and then tell us, how did you get your lad to ladette? Because that was sensational, I have to say. I loved you on that. At Eggleston Hall, and whoever married you with Jill Harbord was magnificent. You couldn't be more different.
Well, first of all, you know where it is, Barnard Castle? I know, it's strange, isn't it? Barnard Castle for ladettes to ladies. So the thing is that no, how it was, they couldn't find anybody to do the role. And somebody said, well, we do know someone. She's been on television. I'd done Rosemary, Queen of the Kitchen, Rosemary Castle Cook, Rosemary this, Rosemary whatever, on Channel 5. And of course, nobody really knew me because it was new. But they actually said, look, you know, she's got a plum in her mouth, and she's perfect. And she's a chef. She's been on television. So I went down and I did a screen test, and they asked me one question. They said, could you teach some ladettes how to cook a 3-course meal in 4 days or 5 days? I said, yes, of course I could. Of course, what they'd done, they'd always asked sort of home ecs and people like that, and everybody said no. And I was the first person who said, no problems, bring it on, we can do it. So basically, and literally, and they literally asked me there and then to do it. But then I had a problem morally, because I did feel morally, I did feel that it was a little bit crass in the sense that who am I to start telling these kids actually what to do, that the way we did it was more important. And, you know, I felt I had a sort of moral dilemma, as one can say. But actually, in the end of the day, I actually thought, I sort of got through it thinking, well, they can take what they want out of it, because it was based on a 1950s finishing school. And they had to sign lots of things, so they couldn't complain or they couldn't do anything. So of course, we were quite strict with them. We really were.
Well, no, I have to say, Jill was very strict with them. You were very motherly. You became their friend.
Yeah. I'm a nurturer anyway, Fran. You know that. I'm a complete nurturer. I actually know that. So consequently, it wasn't hard for me to do that. But no, it was an incredible honor. And, you know, I still meet some of the girls today, you know, which is lovely. So I feel very lucky to have done it, actually. Really, really lucky.
Yeah.
Really
yeah.
lucky.
And then tell us about going into the jungle.
Oh my goodness me. Well, the jungle was another thing. The jungle was something that I actually been asked quite a few times to do it. And then, of course, they asked me, and I was actually moving here 7 years ago.
Okay.
And I thought, right, this is the moment that maybe I could do this. So because it was a marketing ploy really for me, I thought, I'm going to do it. I thought it was marketing. So I thought, okay, this is fine. So I did go in, not with trepidation, but I thought, well, either people are going to love me or hate me. I don't know. But all I'm going to do is be myself. It's really important. Just be who I am. And
you've always been that, and it's charming.
I've never been anything else. So I am what I am. And I have to say, I loved it. I loved it. It was hard. The boredom was hard. The food was extraordinary. I mean, we had things like crocodile feet, which are disgusting. But of course, I loved the kangaroo tail, which was delicious. Nobody else did. So, of course, all the vegetarians up there, I used to make life look really difficult. So I think, oh, this is horrible. Look, look. And they said, we can't eat it. Then they wouldn't eat it, and there was more for us.
And then
There
everyone,
was a little bit of a ploy there.
everyone adored you in the Marigold Hotel.
Oh, do you know what? I absolutely love that. We did 7 tours.
Wow.
And I must tell you, it was such fun. And I love the whole thing. It was a massive privilege to go abroad, the BBC taking us, terrific. It was hard work because we didn't have one day off or even half a day off, when we were there. We literally in and out. But it was a huge experience and it was really, really good. And I must say that I loved it. I hope Monday we'll do more, And they say I'm top of the list if they're going to do it again. I hope so.
Oh, well, that would be fantastic. I loved the way you took control in the kitchen.
Oh, yes, always do. I always take control. I can't help myself.
You can't help yourself.
I can't help myself because I get so excited. And the thing is that for me, it's just, I just love it. I'm so lucky to do what I do still, I'm so lucky.
Well, we're lucky to have you. We like it.
Oh, it's so nice. It's so lovely. And well, people like you and people like that, people, I've met over the years, and, it's really special, really, really special. And I think that I've met some very nice people and they're part of my life. They're still part of my life, which is really, really lovely. So, and I hope people always feel that they could always ring me up and say hello and always, because you haven't got time for everybody. You really haven't, because you meet so many people. I have a series coming out soon. I can't tell you what it is on Netflix, but I can't tell you what it is. But it will be happening at some stage.
This will be entertaining.
Yes.
This will.
This is
Janet Clark's just said, I love the way you embrace life with such enthusiasm. And I think that's very true. You do. You embrace everything full on. You pick up your phone. You talk to people. You give. Because at the moment, you've been cooking with queens of the kitchen.
I have. Well, you see, we're called queens of the kitchen. Now, the thing is, it's all pearls and it's aprons. What we decided, I've known Chris, for a few years, and he's such a lovely person, and we have such fun. Really super talented too, really super talented. But there's a side of me, because I've done pantomimes, I've done this and that. I love acting, I love singing. Of course I can't sing, we know that. But Lavoie is absolutely brilliant, and Lavoie is someone who she just wanted. Anyway, we were chatting and we were saying, this lockdown, everybody's, we're all doing this. Let's have some fun. So what we started to do 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, we started having some fun with cooking, a bit of singing, a bit of quizzing, and just make it fun. And she's so fun. We dress up. She dresses up and she tries to follow me. I'm far too quick. I slam it on too quickly. So I've been told I've got to slow down and be much sexier. Not sure how to be sexier, but I'll certainly try. But the thing is that I love it. And we made a lot of people laugh. And that's really important.
It's really important in this situation.
I mean, we're not making any money out of this. We're not getting a penny. We're doing it all for free. It's like, we're just giving, as you said, we're just giving. It's really important.
Yeah, we are just giving, and it's sort of, it's giving interest, it's giving humor, it's giving fun, and it's giving people ideas of things to cook at home, because you're cooking in your kitchen the whole time, and videoing it and uploading it, and
the whole time you're cooking. But I have to show you this. Look.
Go on.
Yeah. Look, you're going to love this. These are my Kilner jars.
Lovely.
Look. These are all my. I've got 2.
Chocolate.
Look. Oh, you do. I've got all these different things, doubles.
I like the chocolate buttons. You've got white chocolate, dark chocolate, milk chocolate, sugars.
Yes, and they're double. There's all double. It's all double.
You're well stocked, Rosemary.
Yes, flowers. Oh my gosh, look at all the different flowers.
Yes, because
Yeah.
you've been baking a lot. You've been baking French baguettes, haven't you?
Yes, I've been baking French baguette. And what I'm going to do is we're doing this next week. Let me just tell you what we're doing.
Yeah.
Next week, we're doing sushi on Wednesday. So if anybody wants to join us doing sushi, it's going to be fun. Next Wednesday at 6 o'clock, I'm on Facebook.
And this is Queens of the Kitchen.
Queens of the Kitchen. Lavoie and Rosemary together. It's going to be so cool.
That's such good fun. Now, listen, can I ask you to tell me what would be your dream meal at the moment? Don't or a dream meal you've had. Share one with us.
Okay. Do you know what I really, really, really fancy at the moment? I really fancy the most. There's two things.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get it because it's far too expensive. Oh, I'd love a whole tin of caviar. And the other thing I would love, which I won't get because I can't afford, and the other thing I would love is the most wonderful shellfish casserole.
Oh, lovely.
With making some some delicious rui, and some delicious bread for dipping in, almost like a cataplana.
Yeah, yeah.
That sort of thing, but slightly richer, not too much richer, and just in between a bouillabaisse and a cataplana with lots of fish and no bones.
Yes, so nice fillets. And tell me, how do you eat your caviar? On potatoes or straight off a bone spoon?
No, straight with a spoon. I like crispy Melba toast. That's my favorite. And I like to do it with my egg. And I love to, just take a spoon of it at a time. It's making me water. It's making me, because I absolutely adore it.
Yes, I haven't had a spoonful in a while, I have to say.
No,
I'm not
likely to get a spoonful for an awful long time, I don't think. Not after this lockdown.
Yeah.
It's going to do any work for months.
And have you got another book coming up?
Yeah, I'm writing at the moment. I can't tell you about it now.
It's all a secret. You see, this woman never goes to sleep. She's busy, everyone.
No, I'm keeping fingers crossed. I've got a really important publisher interested in something I've done. So it's and it's quite good. So we'll see. It's fingers crossed at the moment. So, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to I don't want to, what do they say when you don't want to put
you don't want to
bad luck.
Yeah, bad luck. But and tell me, what do you think is the because you're such a good teacher, and you're able to convey, what do you think of the art is of a good teacher, demonstrator, festival giver?
Okay, I think one of the most important things is when you teach is, first of all, you've got to seem comfortable. Whatever happens, you've got to be comfortable. And you've got to know your thing, and you've got to be very firm, very firm. And the most important thing is patience. Patience in the teacher and patience in the cooking. Patience in the cooking is fundamental, but also, so for instance, I've been teaching for so many years, as you know, and I tell people, just don't do it that way because it's not going to be any good. Nobody ever takes somebody to say, no, it's not because I want to say that and be rude. It's just the fact I want them to get it right. And nobody's ever taken umbrage. I'm not horrible. I'm just really a definite saying, no, that's not what you do. So
you're firm but helpful.
Very helpful. I think you need to be firm, helpful, but also patient and also understanding, because sometimes it's very easy, because you know it so easily and it's so quick. You can sometimes have this sort of go too quickly, understanding that everybody else will understand it, but they don't. It's not. You have to accept that actually it's just one step at a time. So, and I am culprit for doing that, may I tell you. I have to kick myself because last night on with Lavoie, I was so impatient. I got it in 2 minutes flat. It was like, slow down, we can't keep up. So anyway, so the thing is, patience, but also when you compare it with positiveness, go for it. Never be fluffy when you teach. Always be positive. And You know, and that's it. And then you carry it through. So don't, if you're going to do it, then you have to go through with it. You don't, you know, take it halfway. Or that's how you show them.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Someone's just asked, Rosemary, where can they come and do your cookery classes or cookery lessons? It's either in your books or it's on
yes.
Le
Well,
Croix
what
at the
I'm going to
moment.
start doing, I'm going to start, funnily enough, teaching, because I've got quite a big kitchen. I think I'm going to start teaching from my kitchen again, because I'm thinking so many people are asking me, but I'm only going to take 3 or 4 at a time.
Okay, so it'll be a personal morning with Rosemary, and you'll really learn.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm going to do. Because I think it's really important that people, it's small but effective, if you see what I mean. So then you can get a lot more done. A lot more done.
Yeah. And someone's just asked, what's your favourite cuisine to cook? I think it's just called food, isn't it?
I think it's just food. Well done. Well done, you. Just food. We all love food.
Yeah, no, we do. And it's great. One thing that everyone's got time at the moment, that they're able to think about what they're cooking and actually learn something, and be it watching you on YouTube or wherever.
Absolutely. I'm hoping with the lockdown, when it finishes completely, I'm hoping that people will still cook. Now, obviously not as much, because everybody is so busy. The wonderful thing that actually people have had time to do cooking now, and that's what I think has been so wonderful. So it's almost taken them back and realized they quite enjoy cooking. I'm hoping that is going to stay there, maybe probably more at weekends rather than during the week. Yeah. But I'm hoping that the hobby will still have a place of cooking and not become a dull sort of thing to think about, what are we going to eat tonight? Because cooking is fun.
It's brilliant. And I loved listening on the radio the other day to hear that the sales of ready meals is down.
Good. Perfect. Yes. Yes. We love that.
We're all for that.
Absolutely.
But Rosemary, can I ask you, what is your favourite food-related book, film, TV show? You can say yourself if you want.
Okay, I'll tell you what it is. I think probably, you're going to be funny. Somebody's introduced me to something in America, which is very funny, and it's going to have the chilies. No, what's that? What's it called? Food. Ask Mark, will you? What's it called? That food. It's the man who goes round. I can't.
Oh, and he eats as many chilies.
Man versus food.
Man versus food.
That is the funniest thing, and he's so natural. I'm surprised he could stay so slim. I think what he does is diets between each program, but it's funny, makes me laugh. But it's really good because, but it's so revolting, the amount of food they eat. It is so revolting.
I think my boys have shown it to me, and because they just want to hoover food, and it's hoovering, as you say.
Yeah, it's so revolting.
But it's really very funny.
Yeah, that's very funny. One wouldn't do it. And I think probably some of my favorite food is Japanese, actually. I love Japanese food too. Absolutely love it. Oh, I love it. I love Italian food as well.
And someone's just asked your favourite dessert to bake.
Right. Oh, my favourite dessert. Do you know what it is? You're going to be absolutely shocked. But it's the simplest thing in the whole world. I love a clafouté.
Oh, lovely.
I mean, just a simple clafouté, but fresh. It's got to be bought from the oven. And it's got to be literally brought to the oven, virtually to the table.
Yes. And what fruit do you like to put in it? Cherries or whatever's in season?
Well, I like the traditional cherries ones, but you can do raspberries and things like that. But also, the other dessert is tarte tatin.
Oh, I love that.
I love a tarte tatin. So
with lashings of cream.
Custard, the clafouté or tarte tatin.
Okay, someone's just said, can you teach us to make pumpkin pie? Are you good at pumpkin pie?
Yeah, I do pumpkin pie. Well, pumpkin pie is a really interesting thing to do. Sweetened. It's actually very American.
Yeah,
but
it is.
You know, but it's very nice. But, well, we'll have to maybe do that on YouTube. I've just signed up to YouTube. If people will sign up to YouTube, that would be wonderful. Well,
I've got an etiquette question here.
Oh, far away.
which way, when you eat scones, do you put jam or cream on first?
Jam. It depends where you are. Okay, in Cornwall it's jam with cream on top. In Devon, otherwise they'll kill me. It's cream and then jam on top of cream.
But it's actually however you like it.
It's however you want it. So for me, I like it with jam, with the biggest dollop of cream on the top of the jam.
And can I ask you your favourite kitchen tool?
My scraper. Shall we show it? Let me get it.
Oh.
My it's my paint stripper. No, I put it in there actually. Put it in there inside.
Is it like a dough scraper?
It's a paint stripper. It's a paint. It's get wallpaper off.
And what do you use that for us for?
I get biscuits off and things like meringue and.
Okay, and it's literally
but it's very thin and very flexible. And my other thing, this is my favorite tool, but my favorite electrical equipment is a KitchenAid.
Oh, I love those.
I love my KitchenAid.
Yeah, yeah,
love it.
They're really good, and all the accessories you can get to add on to it to make it
everything.
Do ice cream,
I've got
pasta.
Everything.
Yeah, well done you. That's great.
Everything. I'm very lucky, very lucky. But that £2.50 is sensational. You never look back.
And that's from a hardware store, not a kitchen.
That's from a hardware store. that's from a hardware store.
Don't you love everyone
my
Rosemary's honesty?
My copper pan. This is the other bit. I've had this copper pan for 47 years.
Yeah.
From Jaegers when they were in Tottenham Court Road.
Tottenham Court Road. Yeah. Lovely. Yeah, and much loved. And that's solid copper, isn't it?
Yes, it's a solid copper, really lovely. But when I bought it all those years ago, no, it was in Oxford Street first. It was one, then it moved. This was one in Oxford Street, left Oxford Street. This was in 1974. Anyway, it's a left-handed one, but I love it.
Oh, it's very nice. And they're great conductors of heat.
I love it. I love it. It's just been cleaned up for me. I love it.
And do you cook on gas, I'm guessing?
Yes, always. The reason I cook on gas is because I can use all my old pads. I couldn't use that, you see.
Couldn't, yeah.
No. So
I'm induction and can't use copper.
I have induction. I have induction pads. My favourite pads. I've got all clad. My favourite pads.
Oh, I love them. Oh,
I love them. I know. I love them. So I've got a lot of all clad. I know. Adore them.
We could just talk kitchen tools for however long.
Oh, we could just go on forever. We could
just
go. I could take you around my kitchen. I love my look. I love my ovens. Here, look.
Lovely. Oh.
Do you know what? Do you want to see my favourite? Look, this is my favourite. Oh no, that's my warmer. This is my favourite. My favourite is my vacuum packer.
Oh, that's so clever. Have you got a sous vide?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so lovely. It's so lovely.
So you can break down a carcass and then you can vacuum pack it and store it.
Yeah, you can do everything. And do you know what? I would say I've just had that put in because I thought the most important thing is try and keep things for as long as possible. And by having that, if people want to save up for it, it's the best thing because it saves wasting food. So for instance, what you do is you put it in your vacuum packer and it can keep up to 10 days in the fridge. Now, if you've got a leftover chicken, you've got bits and pieces, just imagine you could actually make things last so long. It's amazing. Yeah. So it saves you money. In the end of the day, it's saving you money.
And which make have you got?
Well, this is the KitchenAid one but it's the small one. It's not the big one. I don't need a big one.
Well, that looks perfect for the domestic home.
This is a small one for a kitchen like mine here. You don't want anything bigger. It becomes ludicrous, really.
Yeah. You're not running a commercial operation.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I just do. So I put all the bits, but it's lovely if you've got little bits left over, you can just put them in, or you've got a bit of hummus, or just keep your hummus in there for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. One last question. Someone's just asked, how do you write the labels on your lovely jars? I think you've written with a Sharpie, haven't you?
Yeah, no. It's a dymo label.
Oh, and they're clear.
They're
Okay, the
clear.
old-fashioned
So
punchy
what we
ones.
do is, so
Clever.
they come out, so you sort of look, they're on there.
We can't see them. Lift them up to your face. Thank you. Yeah, okay, Dymo label. Brilliant.
Okay. They're really good because I think I've got 150, 160 jars there. I'm not sure how many I haven't. Yes, it comes in that machine.
Clever.
Yes.
Clever. Rosemary, when you're up in London, will you come and have a drink? Because I've got exactly the same. All my food is stored in the Kilner jars, and I've got about 100. I'm not in my kitchen at the moment.
No.
So,
you've done the same thing?
Yeah, I've had it for like that for about 20 years.
Oh my God, I just love it. Well, I have to tell you, to be able to see, doesn't it make a difference?
Well, I don't see the point of putting things behind cupboards. I don't want to open a cupboard. I just want to access it. Oh, Rosemary's frozen. Yeah.
No, it's okay. I was frozen. Somebody was ringing. No, these shelves belong to the family, and they bought in 1951 or something when I was born. But the thing was, these shelves are very old. So imagine they're all, and I had them stripped, and it's so nice to use them. It's absolutely lovely.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm so happy. No,
Rosemary, it's been an absolute pleasure seeing you, and everyone's really enjoyed seeing you and your enthusiasm. And I do think you are the Maggie Smith Downton Abbey of cooking to teach us all. And I mean that in a pleasant way, because we all love Maggie Smith.
Oh, that's so sweet. Well, listen, thank you for telling me a plan. Stay in contact, because I would love to see you for a copy. It was so nice. I'm so glad we got the phone organised in the end. I really am.
Yeah.
You know, really am. Anyway, speak to you soon.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.
everybody.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.